We're going to rewatch some of the most memorable,
iconic,
ridiculous, crazy,
and embarrassing moments in Summer House history.
A lot of these things we try to block out of our memory forever.
I'm going to be cringing the whole time. Hi, I'm Lindsay Hubbard.
Carl,
Amanda Batula,
Danielle.
Hey, I'm Kyle.
Here we go.
we're friends.
Not with me. Don't activate me, because you've not seen me activated.
Obviously,
That
mistaking
was
me
a
for someone who
threat.
gives a
Here we are. Probably my most iconic line known to the present day. Don't activate me.
There was more passion in that scene than in this last season.
I haven't gotten activated in the last 2 seasons, and honestly, I miss activated Lindsay. Probably in my earlier seasons when I would get really, really drunk. And I used to take Adderall, deathly combo for aggression and activation. It came out of my mouth, don't activate me.
I never heard anyone say that expression in my entire life. I was like, did Lindsay just make that up? What does it even mean?
Never ever used the word activated in my entire life ever before.
I kind of agreed with Lindsay, like, Carl, dial it back. I think this was probably at the tail end of their little fling, season 4. Carl was pushing buttons. Lindsay was warning him. And I think he poked the bear.
He was on one, and he was really drunk, and he was being nasty.
My God, to think how far we've come. And then just did a 180 again.
So meant to be. I can't believe they didn't get married.
that was not activated Lindsay yet. And I think we've all seen activated Lindsay, and she's not the person I ever want to go up against. I will say that. Because you're going to lose.
She definitely gets activated, but she's way better at not showing it. That's her new trick.
I think the only thing that changed about Carl was that he got sober.
Everybody looked back to season 4 and saw just red flags galore. Oh, I just rhymed.
I don't know, whatever. Moving on. I'm over that guy. I'm so over it at this point. I don't live with him, and I don't have to deal with him, so...
Never hung out with someone in a hot tub with a turtleneck on. It's like Steve Jobs.
Did you just insult my clothes? Okay. The line has now been crossed.
I remember getting Stassi's number and texting her after that weekend a long apology.
Wow, I haven't seen that in so long. I think he was really trying to flirt and shoot his shot with Stassi there. Wow, crash and burn, Kyle. Crash and burn.
I guess the silver lining is it became a very memorable scene. It helped kick off Summer House and is, according to Watch What Happens Live, the #1 hot tub moment in Bravo history.
top 10 reality TV show scenes. Because, I mean, Stassi's like an established, like, star, Vanderpump. Here Kyle is. Nobody knows who the hell he is. Drunk as a skunk in the hot tub. First night filming Summer House. This crossover. It's actually one of the most important parts of Summer House history. But that first weekend, Kyle was like, yeah, we're having some chicks come in from LA. I'm like, sweet, 4 girls, awesome. And it was Sheena, Stassi, Kristen, and Katie. There's a part of this season that I'm at the dinner table and I make fun of Stassi and the girls because they work at a restaurant. And I had a real job. And I was such a then.
The audience didn't know me at this time, and I feel like I got a lot of backlash. But then when the whole season had played, people were like, all right, now we know Kyle's a goofball who also is in tech.
The best part of this scene, though, after the fact, they go up to the kitchen, and Kyle doesn't remember her name. She's like, what's my name? And he's like, Stassi. And, like, it's the funniest ever. Like, he can't say her name because he doesn't know it.
I think I told her I could see her nipples. Oh, different one. Okay.
I mean, you could have told me that scene was filmed in season 8 and I would have believed you because Kyle's just doing the same weird drunk stuff. Like, he literally has not changed, for better or for worse. For worse for me, for better for you guys.
You are not fun. I want to have fun. I'm out of here. Summer should be fun. Amanda?
Oh, poor Amanda.
Not fun.
The most quoted line, I think, of the show, the whole series. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life.
I give Amanda a lot of credit for, over the years, kind of embracing this catchphrase that I will never live down.
I'm so sad there. I'm so young and I'm such a baby and I'm so sad. It's like such an iconic line. I get it. I mean, we even made merch with it, but I feel so bad for little me there.
It's funny, even though it's so mean to Amanda. But you can't help but laugh.
I did not remember saying that until the trailer dropped, and I was like, oh my God.
I don't even know what we were fighting over. I literally think it was spilled water.
I think I had spilled water at the moment, and it felt like the world was over.
Every time someone says summer should be fun, everybody wants to finish that sentence. Petition to cut it off right at summer should be fun. Let's leave Amanda out of this. She's had enough.
Thank you, Carl. I love you so much for that.
I think Amanda is fun.
Amanda is fun.
Amanda's fun. Arguably, Kyle is the not fun one. Did we see the clip with him banging a table in the middle of dinner?
Amanda's are fun, okay?
Amanda came on season 1, you know, kind of late night. Her kind of introduction to reality was her and Kyle having sex. So, you know, they've put it all out there, and I give them a lot of credit.
Kyle and Amanda, they definitely fought way more than Carl and I last summer. I'm sure they have a very loving relationship behind closed doors.
You think that I don't want to be happy for you?
Correct.
Oh my God, the
They said no. They were like,
eavesdropping is unreal.
Oh, I hate this one. You could skip this one.
Yeah, that was a tough moment. You know, whenever you're fighting with your best friend.
Everyone thought that we were eavesdropping and like it was so rude of us. We were actually told that we could not walk outside. We could not walk through the living room to get to the backyard because they didn't want to disrupt the scene. But obviously we're not going to like sit there and not listen. Yeah, we could have used the front door, and now I'm realizing that we could have easily gotten outside a different way.
I didn't get activated, but my activation looks a little different. I think by that point, I had just completely shut my emotions off.
Stone Cold Steve Austin has a sister. Her name is Lindsay. That's how I felt watching this.
She didn't show a goddamn morsel of emotion. And I'm basically, my heart is coming out on the table. She was just nothing. Oh.
Danielle saw something in the relationship dynamic or the compatibility, but went about it in the wrong way and the wrong delivery that season.
And I just remember being blown away at just how dead set Lindsay was to just kind of like throw their relationship and friendship to the curb.
I feel like they said some weird stuff and they were just like, or like mean stuff to each other, and they were just like, oh, let's forget it and just go back to our old ways.
There's enough history there that we'll try and we'll keep trying, but it's hard.
Shocked?
Yeah, I was like, all of a sudden, we're like there's been weirder things around here, so I'm just like, okay, bonfire.
She wore shoulder pads to the beach. She knew she was getting proposed to. Nobody just shows up in shoulder pads to the ocean.
I do. I had no idea. I mean, had I known, I would have gotten a spray tan. Didn't get a spray tan. Would have gotten my nails done.
1000% Lindsay knew.
I think Lindsay had a sense that it was happening.
And I don't know if Lindsay knew or not, but I knew.
We'd spent the night in the hospital the night before because Carl fainted because he had too many Red Bulls. It was just the last thing on my mind.
She'll say to her grave that she did not know, but she's a Florida beach person. She's not wearing a dress. She's not wearing shoulder pads. I agree with Paige on this one.
No. Goodness, there's the tea.
This was so bad, you guys.
Here's the scoop. Earlier that day, 3 things happened. 1, I cranked the pool to 106 degrees. 2, my friends gave me the heads up they're bringing 40-pound bags of loose leaf tea and asked me if I could ask a producer if they could throw it in the pool. I asked one producer. He was like, I don't see why not. And then 3, clearly it was the one who threw the tea in the pool, not my friends. And I walk outside, and what you don't see in this clip is that it was pitch black. The 106-degree water steeped the tea, stained the entire liner, and the pool had to be completely drained.
We just messed this multi-$1,000 pool up, and we had to pay for that.
And I think that was like $7,000, so that was a big hit to the security deposit.
This is not something we could, like, the next morning, like, shovel out with our hands.
But this really was like the kickoff to having huge blowout parties.
We have the best theme parties, I think, hands down on Bravo.
Like the amount of ridiculousness that we've done. And then I'm sure at some point we have like a bunch of serious conversations dressed up like idiots in our various costumes over the years. It makes for some pretty funny, serious moments.
The thing that I'm hoping for and needing in this relationship is sometimes for you to be less inquisitive and questioning, but more softness and tenderness.
Why do I need to be soft and sensitive?
Because I'm asking for this in this particular thing, which is the career choice and figuring out if this is the right thing.
I truly think he needed softness and tenderness.
I mean, I'm not telling her to be less like a strong woman. I just think strong women can offer softness and tenderness to the person they're about to marry.
My softness comes out when I feel safe and when I have security. It's in an emotional safeness and security, a financial security.
But let me just stop here. Like her and I, we make the same amount of money on Summer House. She does influencer stuff. I was doing influencer stuff. She made more money doing that. I tried to argue something about that. I put my foot in my mouth. But I made 70 grand last year doing influencer campaigns and was trying to navigate a next step for me. And what people aren't watching is behind closed doors at our apartment and leading up to this summer. It was very challenging to try and navigate my career with her. She wasn't very excited about or questioning into a place where it's like, why would I even want to do that?
You know, I do think it's hypocritical and contradictory for him to ask for softness and tenderness when I had mentioned like a couple of episodes beforehand, well, what happens if we have kids? Maybe I want to stay at home with the baby for a period of time. And he freaked out. Well, I can't do it all.
Now, I understand being a supportive partner, there is always questions and trying to understand, but I wasn't experiencing questioning in a healthy manner. It was like, why would you do that? You want to go back into bed with your ex? Like, to me, those were not terms that were very supportive.
I can't manage the household. I can't raise the kids. I can't plan the wedding. I can't deal with the finances. I can't like be the one handling and driving the ship in every which direction and be the soft one. So like you need to figure out how you want to help in this relationship because I need a partner. And I think what Carl needed was a mom.
Listen, I'm a sensitive person. I like touch. The way I express my love is through physical touch and hugging, being tender and soft in that regard. And I felt like the intensity of what we were dealing with.
You know, Carl's really good at smoke and mirrors. He is good at presenting to the world the way in which he wants the world to perceive him. But behind closed doors, the real Carl comes out. And I know that, Carl.
I thought it was a request I could make as an adult to my partner and hope that she might understand it versus turning it around on me that I'm a misogynist and being really derogatory. And that was not my intention.
I think what people are seeing this season is, in fact, Carl hasn't done, you know, the growing that he needs to be doing. And he still has a long journey to go, specifically in therapy and specifically in like learning how to be an adult on his own in this world.
She's actually talking to you and you're like hanging out with the Giggly Squad. Can we just have one person talking at a time and be respectful?
Kyle.
You literally are giggling the whole time. It's this
Night 1, season 4.
We're laughing.
Tensions are high. I clearly coined the Giggly Squad in this moment. I think this is the beginning or in the midst of a trend where I might have a point. Maybe I'm right or wrong, but it's my delivery that certifies that I'm horribly wrong.
Honestly, though, I will say, I was at that dinner. Paige and Hannah were talking, and it was a little rude.
I think I was trying to make a point that, like, Gen Z doesn't pay attention or have one conversation at the table.
Impossible dinner to get through. I think after all that, Jules fell out of her chair.
Jules falls off her chair. The whole chair like gives out underneath her. It was the best thing I've ever seen. It was perfect timing. It's exactly what this chaos needed.
He just gets really angry and, you know, similar to like a toddler, when they don't know how to express their anger, they throw temper tantrums.
There's zero way to de-escalate Kyle at all. I've tried every single way humanly possible and nothing ever works. I don't know, guys. There's so many things that I just don't know why Kyle does what he does. I don't love it, and that's why I'm always like, can you just shut up? Just stop talking. Half the time I used to put my hand over his mouth.
I was just trying to make a point. just really failed miserably.
But hey, a whole business was started from, Kyle getting angry.
I thought long and hard about what I'm good at. Like, what am I most knowledgeable about? It's alcohol. So I was like, how can I make alcohol?
He was the
better?
beer lord
Enter Loverboy.
at his fraternity in college.
Tea with 0 grams of sugar.
This was just so rewarding for me to watch back just because it was like that moment where Amanda's getting into the mix. She's still got her job. I give her so much credit for, holding down a job, filming a TV show, and helping me. And this is the origins of Loverboy.
And funny backstory to this. Later this summer, Kyle brought some samples of Loverboy. Amanda's the ideal consumer here. We're building a brand that was designed predominantly really with women in mind. It's like this, if we can get Amanda to love what we're making, then that's gonna work. Funny enough, so we're all tasting. Amanda's tastes a sip. She's like, this is terrible. I'd sip it. I'm like, this is great.
I am so specific with how these things taste and what I approve of that sometimes we miss our deadline because I'm like, no, this is not right yet. Kyle just likes everything. I'm a lot pickier.
Kyle and I, we would drink anything.
I've got a sweet tooth. But here we are, we're trying to make a 0 sugar sparkling hard tea. Amanda has a way more sophisticated palate than me.
If I didn't like it, we weren't selling it.
Come on, Cristina, you're doing this all the wrong make your graceful exit. Do not bring us down with you.
I'm not bringing, the only thing I'm bringing with me is this.
Not the 6 liter of rosé.
Gibson reporting live from the summer house. I'm out.
Oh, I miss Cristina. I think she had a tough first season. She was in the crosshairs of Lindsay, and that's not a place anybody wants to be.
Cristina and Lindsay lived together. I mean, I don't think Lindsay and Cristina ever were friends again after this, which is kind of sad.
I mean, if you're going to walk off the show, essentially, I mean, at least have like an iconic line. I got to give Cristina credit.
I brought a girl back the night before, I think, and we had to give her a ride home. I was gone while this was occurring. But I remember coming back and being told that a producer or production assistant dropped her off at the Jitney in the Hamptons, and she had the 6 liter or the big ass bottle of rosé in her luggage, and apparently she couldn't bring it on the Jitney. They wouldn't let her, so it got left on the side of the road.
I feel like season 1, none of us knew what we were doing. We were all so in over our heads and just had no clue what we were getting ourselves into. This was just like, let's invite the cameras along, and then we didn't think that it would last this long.
Looking back at all 8 seasons of Summer House, kind of crazy watching it back and seeing how far I've come.
Being on this show with my wife, I'm pretty lucky because not a lot of people can say that. And there's not a lot of couples left standing in the Bravo universe.
I am just so happy that the boys got along because I think the boy energy is what kind of saved me this past summer, because obviously the conflict you saw, but there was a lot of fun. I talked to Jesse a ton. He's in Brooklyn now. That's where I live. West, we still are in touch with.
I guess I'm most proud of the amount that I've put myself out there, and then things that I could do better. Maybe less sex. Actually, I take that back too.